Congratulations first on the win. To say that this has been a crazy 24 hours for your guys, to win on the road in this environment when there were doubts. Jerome, what does it mean to you?
I want to thank the Lord. I want to thank Coach Harbaugh. Love you, man. Love out of you, man. This is for you. For this university, the president, our AD. We got the best players, best university, best alumni in the country. Love you guys. These guys right here. These guys right here, man. These guys did it. These guys did it, man. Talk to him, man.
All right, you got to crack me that code. You got to crack me the code.
Maize and blue, baby. Maize and blue, baby. This is all for you, khaki pants. All for you.
Marcus, go in.
Hey, Coach D, Coach D, listen, man.
What's up? Okay,
he's got to disguise our shirts better than this, man.
I don't know why we
Michigan
did this.
Espionage Video Department, man. I got to have a better cover than this. Come on,
Hey, crack
dog.
me that code, man. I need that play. They're coming in.
Hold on. Give me some Morse code, man. I ain't reading it right. I got it. Come on.
Yeah.
Got it. Student body right. Toss sweep 22 right. It's going right. Tailback 22. Toss sweep.
Marcus. Yep. All right, here we go. Play. Yeah, baby. Tackle for loss. 5-yard loss. That's good.
Yes, baby.
Hey, good job. Good job, Coach K. Hey, they're lining up 3 right. Okay, I need that play. I
That's why I get paid the big bucks, baby. That's why I get paid the big bucks. Maize and blue, baby.
Hey, what'd you think about Shamar's interview, huh?
Oh, man, he's a crybaby, man. What's he doing, man?
Hey,
I mean, look, khaki pants, man. He's just suspended 3 games. They ain't gonna do nothing to us, man. We're in the college football playoffs, win or lose, man. We got the playbook of the other team.
Yeah,
we got their plays, man. We got it.
He thank God then he cussed 3 times. That's a good man right there.
Yeah.
All right, hey, crack that code.
Okay, I got
this. Crack that code. I need my sub
they're going to the air.
All right,
vertical streaks, 4 verticals.
Jamal.
Hot slot. They're going to slot man deep. They're going 4 verticals. All of them are running streaks.
Yep. Okay.
Key on the slot. Key on the slot.
Thanks, Kay. Here we go. And yeah, baby. Interception. All right, we won that game.
Booyah, baby.
Good job, Kay. Hey, check is in the mail. I'm express delivering it to you. Next day, it's going to be there for you. Good job, Coach K.
Booyah.
Good job, buddy.
Hey,
Undefeated.
that's why I get paid the big bucks, baby. Hey, when can I expect my check, man? How y'all going to see this to me?
Yeah. Wait, say it one more time. I didn't have my headset on.
I need my check, man. I need my check.
Yeah, I already talked to Coach Harbaugh from his prison cell. He's going to get that to you next day air. It's going to be at your house tomorrow, okay?
Hey, baby.
All right,
I'm going to Bahamas for Christmas. Bahamas, baby. Get some new boots, baby.
Undefeated. And even if we lost, we'd still be in the playoffs, baby. What in the world, Ken? What in the world happened to college football?
Oh,
talk about it.
Man, you know, hey, we're gonna haze the maize and blue tonight through this show. And we got a great show lined up for you. Scott Shasteen not here with us tonight. He's out on assignment.
You're not saying that's the reason why.
No.
You're just saying he's gone.
No, he'll be back. He'll be back with us soon. So
right.
Dave Myers in studio with us tonight. We're going to do high school playoff preview. We're going to recap that Tullahoma High School football game from Friday night, that big game against Page. Dave's going to break down some all-region teams, some superlatives, because that's what we do here on Gold Ball Sports.
That's right.
We reward superlatives. I've got a college football playoff segment for you tonight. We're going to drain the college football playoff committee swamp.
Hey, Ken.
That's what we're going to do.
I'm excited to be here with you, buddy.
Hey, man, let's rock.
It's going to be awesome.
Let's do it.
But first, let's start with some high school football. What do you say?
Yeah, we got
check this out, Ken.
Here we go.
We got some postseason awards to go through. All right?
Yes. Indeed.
All right, here we go. We're going to talk about the second team all region. And
now this is our beloved hometown Tullahoma Wildcats
that's right.
we're speaking about.
That's right. And I want to say congratulations to all these dudes on a tremendous season. Actually, you know what, Ken? Let's take just a second. And talk about this game against Page.
Yeah.
Honestly, y'all, I thought that this game was very hard fought. And these boys came into this game with their heads held high like they should. And they believed that they could beat Page. But you know what? Page just has a phenomenal team and great home field advantage. Ken, talk a little bit about that home field advantage for me.
It was unreal. You know, Scott Chastain and I on the play for the Tullahoma Wildcats for Light Tube, and we were up on the roof on the home side. It really, you know, Dave, you were there. Your son's a senior. Ezra Myers, easy money, defensive end playing in his last ball game. It really looked like a mini Vanderbilt Commodore Stadium. It looked like an SEC, you know, a turf field, really nice manicured, man. But the sound effects, the sound system, there's home field. There's playing at home, and then there's home field advantage.
Right.
The Page Patriots, as you know, Dave, you were on the visitor side, so I want to get your feedback. But look, the student sections and their fans are shooting confetti through their red, white, and blue, their team colors. The loudspeakers are blaring. They have a freight train noise coming across, and the music and the freight train played all the way up virtually until the snap of the play, which I think may have caused us some trouble offensively.
But and that's the difference. It wasn't annoying to me. There's some teams that you'll play in this region and in this state where it's just like, come on, y'all. Especially, what was it, Lincoln County, that kept yelling, it's third down when their team had a third down.
Yeah.
But this was actually very respectful. When there was an injury, their student section sat down, the kids sat down. You could have heard a pin drop. It was an incredible atmosphere, honestly. And if I were on the Page Patriots, I'd want to play at home. But I thought it was a very hard-fought game from both sides. We had a lot of good plays out of our team. Our defense, man, they bless their hearts, dude. They tried their best, but they were just too strong.
Yeah, they fought hard. You know, actually the breakdown of the game, it really just got off. Tullahoma really lost it in the first 5 or 6 minutes of the game. I thought Page won the toss. They kick off, 3 and out. Tullahoma punts, gets off a good punch. Havoc, I thought, punted the ball good.
Yeah.
They go like 65, 66 yards. The first drive, ate up like 8 minutes on the clock. They're up 7-0. They kick off. We fumble the next 2 kickoffs, so we have some trouble on field position early with 2 muffed kickoff fumbles. And then we drop 14-0 in the crowd. Look, when you're on the road in a hostile environment like that, in a big playoff game, you got to, you know, tame the crowd a little bit by staying even or a little ahead and jump on them and show them, you know, that you're there for a full quarter game. It just didn't happen, Dave. They were too much, and they have the look of a state champion. You got to credit Page.
Yeah.
They were the better team Friday night, and they got a shot to win.
We just found out their quarterback, number 10, was the offensive player of the year for our region.
Yeah.
So,
good,
I mean,
good team.
they have a lot of good players. Kudos to these Wildcats for a great season, and we almost predicted it. We said 8-2. What'd they finish?
Well, 8-4.
8-4 ultimately.
Yeah.
But heading into that game, 8-3. So I mean, great season by these guys.
Yeah.
And it shows here. Let's go through.
Congratulations to Coach Coy Sisk and his staff this year. You know, last year the difficult season, 4-6 last year, the first season. This year reverse it and go 8-2, finish second in the region, have a shot to win the region. The 10th week against Chevyville. Fight hard, lose that one, dropped to the number 2 seed, but did get revenge on Nolensville, a team that beat us in the third round, 15-14 in 2020. Got revenge on them, Big D, and so that was good, but just ran out of gas Friday night at Page.
Yeah. So let's check these guys out. So we got some studs up here, and looking at these guys made second team makes you very proud of first team because all these guys played their hearts out. Malik Grizzard, I saw him during his recovery from his injury. Didn't think that he would play nearly his capacity. Dude showed up all year long, especially with some hard catches in the end zone, some drop passes that he would dive for. This kid played out. Congrats to Malik.
And got better as the season went on. Made some clutch catches in the midst of Tullahoma's win streak.
Yep. Ethan Hargrove, again, one of those situations where he came into the season a little banged up, and, man, he proved that he was a force on defense for sure, but also wide receiver. There's a few drop passes during the season, but he made them when they counted, and that's the sign of a good receiver.
Oh, you know, great senior leadership by Hargrove. You know, he was a major participant in the state championship game that we won against the Elizabethton Cyclones a couple years ago. Remember that 4A state championship team? Ethan Hargrove doubled as a receiver some, but a critical defensive back and return man. He did it all. Swiss Army knife, Ethan Hargrove.
Yep. And Bryson Steverson, man, this kid's just a stud. defense, offense, whatever you want to put him at, wide receiver, tight end. He could probably be a great running back as well. I'm super proud of this kid. Junior, right? No, he's senior.
Yeah, senior.
He's senior.
Yeah, he ran some good post patterns. Mason Bratcher hit him on some big time passes this year for the Wildcats in the passing game.
Yeah, and some of his tackles were a little scary.
Yeah.
I mean, he hits kids. Jack Dammer, man, I can't say. First of all, let me say this about these Wildcats. You won't find another team of greater boys than this.
That's right.
The kindest, most sincere, most passionate football players. And that's what's great about this region in general.
Yeah.
These teams want to win.
And look, great parents. Great parents raise,
absolutely.
Solid kids. And,
Yeah.
This young man, I think you told me the week of the game last week, he had fluid on his knee, had trouble practicing, didn't know if he was going to be able to go out there, and he's, a warrior. He went out there and gave his best.
A couple of great tackles in that game that stopped a couple of touchdowns. So congratulations to Jack. Eli Morgan, man, this kid's a stud too, and I believe he is an underclassman if I'm not mistaken.
A key cog on the lines of scrimmage for Tullahoma this year, Eli Morgan.
So congrats to Eli as well. Let's look at the first team all region. Ken, 12. 12.
Whoa, look at this right here, man. This is unreal.
Tullahoma Wildcats.
First team, all region. That's a whole team right there, folks, right? Look at that.
Remember, last season we went 4-6. This is proof that our coaching staff and our dudes are just getting better and better every year. First, we want to talk about Will Hyden. Man, what a stud.
Yeah.
Defensive ball hawk. The last, 3 or 4 games he had, well, except for the last one, I think he had averaged 2 interceptions per game.
He had multiple interceptions this year. This guy's just a sophomore. He was a defensive menace. They moved him around.
Junior, sophomore?
No, I think he's just a sophomore. But Will Hyden is going to come back to lead this team on defense next year. Number 0, where's that number 0? But had some really timely, clutch interceptions this year on defense for the Wildcats.
Can't say enough about this guy. Congrats, Will. Can't say enough about Kenai Johnson, man.
Yeah.
Stud.
Yeah.
On defense, too. Beginning of the year, man, he proved that he was an offensive weapon. But right at the middle of the year, dude was making tackles that nobody could make.
Yeah, another Swiss Army knife. Johnson, played cornerback, but his effect in the return game, running punts back, running kickoffs back, and at wide receiver, big play receiver. He could take a short hitch route. He did in the game Friday night. Took a short hitch for about 25 yards in that game and made a big play, maybe longer than 25, 30 yards.
Yeah.
But he's explosive with the football. He'll be back next year. He's just a junior.
I think that was the defining play for me when he caught the ball against Page and just shook him off.
Yeah.
And he was gone. And not only that, but I was praying for short kickoffs to Tullahoma just to watch this kid return.
Oh, that's right. That was the touchdown play. Yeah, just took a hitch and then just took it to the house.
Congrats, Kenai. This dude right here, I'm so glad to see him on this list, man. I know his father. He's a great dude. But to know Jalen struggles with injury that plagued him the past 2 years, we didn't get to see this stud play. But I remember mid-season, I think it started with Lincoln County. First drive of the game, first series of each game, the ball was thrown to Jalen Hill for, I think the first one was a 47-yard touchdown, and the last one was like a 72-yard touchdown to begin the game.
He had some big plays in the passing game. But where he made his MO was on defensive end.
Absolutely.
Along with Easy, and we'll get to your son here in just a minute. But these two guys right here at bookends were terrors off the edge. Tullahoma 1-1 after 2 games. Lots of people, where are they going to end up? How's the season? They run off a long win streak. These two instrumental in the defensive end positions. Jalen Hill, one of those guys.
Yeah, great. Congrats, Jalen. Liam Grider, man, this kid was all over the field all year. I don't think there was a series, offense or defense, where I didn't hear his name called.
Unbelievable. Big plays. Number 8, wearing the Eli Grow legacy jersey from 2016.
Deserved it.
A quarterback that was in my son's class. A beloved young man, great parents, great family. Wearing that Eli Grow legacy jersey, and just multiple big plays this year. He had 100+ interception return, had multiple big plays and interceptions for the Wildcats, and he was a key component in many of the wins this season.
That's right. A lot of good passes thrown to this guy too. Congrats, Liam. Ryan Denby, man, this guy is a stud. And you talk about him at the beginning of the year. If you remember the Coffee County game, ran all over him.
Yeah, running back, linebacker. plays with heart. You know, the thing about him that I liked about Ryan, that Scott and I liked about him, was just sticking his foot in the ground and going north-south.
Absolutely.
There's no sideways with this guy. He goes and gets the yardage and goes north and south.
Oh,
and
Steelers.
Key yardage.
Steelers running backs, right?
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
give me an Emmitt Smith.
Rocky Bleier.
Congrats,
Bleier.
Ryan. Hey, number 21, Bronson Bunch. This guy, you look at him on the field or off the field, you think, he tackles people?
Yeah.
This guy could hurt you.
Yeah.
And he actually did hurt a couple people this year. One of the hardest tacklers on our team, and I love watching this guy play.
Great size from the safety position.
Yep.
I mean, you want a guy at safety
And speed.
that's a little bit bigger that can lay the lumber. He came up and laid the lumber on opponents this season. Bronson Bunch had some big games, big hitter in that Tullahoma secondary.
I'm going to come back to this guy. Russell Simmons, number 30. He is a dude among dudes, man. And we don't see much out of offense. I think he played maybe 2 or 3 series at fullback. But man, most of his tackles this year were just right on, and they saved key moments. I think it was the Nolansville game where he came up with a big tackle that saved a touchdown. Yeah. This kid was a stud all year.
Well, Tullahoma had many key components of one of the top defenses, certainly in 5A. In our region, the best, okay? Better than Sheffield's. I thought overall the best. Defense was consistent all year, and Russell Simmons a big part of that.
That's right. That's my boy. That's my boy, number 35.
You're not going to tear up now.
Nah.
Come on, like Sharon now.
Nah, man.
Don't tear up. But
these will be real.
Hey, those were crocodile tears he had. Those are fake tears. I could see you could have some real ones with him here tonight.
We were in good pasture, and his coach had him on the line because Ezra will play up to the level you need and wherever you want him. And that was part of the reason why he was so sad, is a lot of these coaches saw him as something else than what he wanted. He wanted to be a linebacker. He wanted to be somewhere with speed, but they put him on the end, and you're absolutely right. These two all year, it was funny because you either saw Ezra running and you turned and there's Jalen for a sack, or you saw Jalen running, he turns and there's Ezra for a sack. And that's what's crazy. We'll get back to that, but congrats to my boy. Much deserved. I love you immensely, and you had a stellar year. Be proud of your year.
You did. We're not going to go past him. I've got to talk about him now. Okay, so the birthday boy from Friday night.
Yeah.
He had his birthday, playing his last game, played his heart out. Again, great bookends along with Hill. This guy, perhaps one of the most unselfish players on the entire team. Great kid, great team player, workout warrior, strong kid, versatile, could play anywhere. Could run the ball, could play tight end, could block in the Hulk package, and a nightmare at defensive end. Quarterbacks were running for their lives all year from Easy Money and Jalen Hill. And then you got the two space eaters in the middle. What a defensive line. Folks, the Pittsburgh Steelers had what? The Mean Joe Green.
I'm going to tape your mouth.
L.C. Greenwood.
I'm going to tape your mouth so you don't make me cry.
The steel curtain.
I'm glad you brought
this was Tullahoma's steel curtain this year. Slaughter, Tatum, Myers, and Hill, the front four right here for the Wildcats. This was your steel curtain, folks.
Number
right
61. Congrats again, buddy. So proud of you. Robert Tatum, dude. Big Bob. Number 61. Dude was a force. You weren't running up the middle against Tullahoma. Because you either met him or you met Mr. DeCarlos. And there's some plays. You talk about Bronson hitting people and hurting them.
Yeah.
I was scared for some of these guys.
Yeah, these two guys here, 61 and 66, Scott and I called their numbers all year. They were punishers. That's what you want, just big tanks at defensive tackle. You want your girth in the middle. These space eaters, they clogged and blocked up run lanes. They punished ball carriers, and they got after the quarterback too. These guys were really superior interior linemen. These were your defensive ends.
Congrats, Robert and DeCarlos. Man, y'all deserve that one. And Mr. Mason Miller on the end. Ken, you know firsthand as well as I do, if you don't have a center who can snap the ball well, which there were a few times where we saw, you're going to have it. Even the pros have it.
Yeah.
Bad snaps. Yeah. But you have to snap and you have to come up and block. That's the key. And, well, no, wait, we're talking offensive line. Mason Miller was that guy. This is the reason why on a lot of plays we had Mason Bratcher have all the time in the world to throw a ball.
Yeah.
Was this guy right here. Got the snap out well deserved. I believe it's Mason Miller and DeCarlos, if I'm not mistaken, who are going to be playing on the East-West game.
Oh, that's great.
Year.
Okay.
I think these two
game.
These two are in it, but congrats, Mason. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
so Mason, very consistent performer. You're right. The snap is critical. Ask the Miami Dolphins how critical it is. They lose a game against
sure.
in Berlin against the Chiefs on a bad errant snap in the shotgun to Tua to end the game. But yeah, just a stalwart in that offensive line. Played some defensive line as well.
Yeah, that's right.
Just an animal on the inside. Very physical. Again, a punishing defense for the Wildcats.
You know how valuable
all of these fantastic players.
You know how valuable a
seasons
guy
this year.
is when they have the friendly push or what is the Philadelphia
Tush
call?
push.
The tush push.
Yeah.
And they bring this guy in on defense to stop him. You know
There
how
you go.
valuable you are when you do that. Now,
There you go.
Kenjamin, let's talk about this guy right
All
here.
right, let's do it. Got
What-
to.
This dude made this year fun for Tullahoma. Came on a little bit slow, but man, there's something that clicked in this guy. Sophomore Marvancy Johnson on the first team all region.
Yeah. Love
This
his
guy-
dad, man. He's just Marvancy Johnson. So you got 22 back there, and this is one Tullahoma really took off.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the difference that we saw in the press box was he was a little bit more patient. He got a little anxious the first couple games, ran into his holes instead of waiting for the hole to develop behind his blockers. He saw his holes so much better. Third, fourth game of the season. Played another guy that played dinged up a little bit throughout the season.
Last game of the year.
And just really had some consecutive 100-yard football games rushing the ball. And when you create balance on offense, Davis, if you can throw the ball, get efficiency through the passing games, and that opens the run game up. That started clicking for Tullahoma, and Marvancy Johnson had some big-time games.
That's right.
Through the air, could catch the ball, do a threat out of the backfield, and break a long run, too.
The first thing I want to say, I talked to his mama. He had a broken bone in his hand that last game.
Yeah.
A broken bone. Ladies and gentlemen, this guy's tough. Not just that. Remember there's 2-game stretch where he had, I think it was 257 yards on the ground with 5 touchdowns. Yeah. This kid's going to be a stud for the Wildcats in years to come. Congratulations, Marvancy. Well deserved. Now, Ken, the last 2 awards we do have are these 2. The Special Teams Player of the Year for Region 5-5A is Mr. Daddy Chatty, Mr.
Man.
Grant Chadwick.
Hold on, let me get this illustrated out right here. All right, guys, look. Okay, this is a 445-pound bench press.
455 is his new one.
Okay, and broke the team record for Tullahoma Wildcats this year. Colby Tucker, number 1-3.
Defensive.
They say 113. 13 is unlucky. It was not unlucky for the Wildcats this season.
Defensive MVP.
Tackling machine.
So we have the Special Teams Player of the Year and the Defensive MVP for our region. Congratulations to Grant and to Colby. And y'all.
And Grant Chadwick, can't miss him. Hey, 53-yard field goal this year against Coffee County. He missed a 57-yarder, just short, about that far.
About a yard.
Punted the football, all the kickoffs through the end zone. His rate on that was just so high of unreturned kickoffs. Gave Tullahoma field position through the punting game and kickoffs. And then his field goals, what a weapon from 50 in, 53 in, 57 in. Grant Chadwick.
Now, there might have been some talk. He wouldn't have told you. But during the season, he might have had some leg injuries that he was dealing with and still kicked the way he kicked. Congrats to these 2, man.
Great job.
Very much deserved, y'all. All right, let's hit some brackets. First, we're going to go to Division II Single A. Camp, we got Columbia Academy versus MTCS on Friday, and we got Nashville Christian and Friendship.
So you've consolidated these, and these are the final 4 in Division II.
I made some new
modifications.
Brackets, new brackets that make sense.
Yeah.
So I'm actually going to pick. I got some notes here. I'm actually going to pick MTCS, and I'm going to pick Friendship to head into this state
Right, you're going with the
championship game.
visitor here, the home here. So you got Friendship Christian against MTCS in the state championship November 30th at Finley Stadium.
And a lot of what I did, because I don't know these areas yet, we're just new to Tullahoma. I'm actually more versed in these Division IIs coming from Good Pasture. I do know MTCS, and the game they played this past Friday proved to me that they could beat Columbia Academy. So I'm going to take MTCS and Friendship, and that's November 30th at 3 p.m. in Old Chattanooga. So Division II, 2A, This is actually the division we were in, and it makes me very happy to see Davidson Academy, which we played at Good Pasture, and some games we actually dominated. It's good to see them there. I'm actually going to pick Davidson Academy. CPA plays FRA. Boyd Buchanan had a good game last game. I think Davidson Academy coming into the playoffs had more momentum than what Boyd Buchanan did. They're actually playing some hard teams now. This is going to be their toughest test. I'm going to pick Davidson.
Okay.
And I'm going to pick FRA. So I'm going to pick both visitors' team. I don't think CPA has it in them to go past this round. So I'm going to pick FRA and Davidson to play.
You know, some of these people may not know what these initials stand for. It's Franklin Road Academy and Christ Presbyterian Academy, correct?
Yep.
So the initials over here on this side. Gotcha.
Yep.
So
Yep.
who do you got in the finals?
So I got FRA and Davidson.
All right.
I think it's going to be a close game.
You got Davidson and FRA. Right?
If Davidson can keep up their record of playing, they can win. Boyd Buchanan is a tough team. So, all right. So we're going to go to Division II, 3A, McCallie and MBA. On this side, I'm actually going to pick McCallie over here. Very tough team.
That was
3A.
Scott's pick too. I believe that's a Blue Tornado.
Yeah, and I believe Baylor is going to beat Knoxville Catholic as well. Baylor's just playing next level.
This Knoxville Catholic, Steve Matthews' old team that played quarterback for the Thelma Wildcats back in the day, was on that 87 state semifinal team, Knoxville Catholic, so they made the Final Four.
And I think both these games are going to come down to running backs. They both have really good running backs this year. Baylor's running back, actually, I think last game ran for 160 yards, if I'm not mistaken. Two tough teams going to meet in the state championship, I believe. November 30th at 7 p.m. at Finley Stadium. Hey, Ken, let's go to Single A.
Single A.
Let's do it. All right, so we're going to go to the east side. We're going to go Oliver,
18.
Springs, Coalfield, South Pittsburgh, and Gordonsville. This first game up on Friday is going to be, I believe, decided down to Coalfield. I put Coalfield. I wonder why. I really like Oliver Springs. It might have been coming down to their last game played, but I have Coalfield advancing over Oliver Springs, and I also have South Pittsburgh advancing over Gordonsville. I don't think there's going to be much of a matchup there. Now we're going to come back to this one. Dresden and Union City, that ain't a contest and we know it. Dresden's going to advance.
Big game Friday night.
We're actually going to pick this.
Yeah, we're going to pick this on our Golden Game
Games
segment at the end of the show. Moore County at McKenzie. Moore County is at home.
Yeah.
This is going to be a big-time football game Friday night. It's going to be packed down in Lynchburg, Tennessee for this matchup right here. Let's go. Let's call Scott and go. We're going. Gold Ball Sports will be there at that game. Let's report on it.
This is going to come down what I think it came down to. It's Oklahoma and Page. That home field advantage, it does a lot.
Yeah.
And I think Moore County might just come away with this victory, although McKenzie is rolling on all levels. But I have Moore County and Dresden. I am going to pick Moore County. And then I have Coalfield and South Pittsburgh. So all the home teams are advancing, I guess. I guess that's what I picked. And I have, let's see. I got South Pittsburgh advancing over Coalfield. And I have Dresden, unfortunately, beating Moore County. You look at a team that had the fewest points allowed all season. And, in fact, they keep that record up. I think they only allowed 7 points last game.
Wow.
So just an unreal team.
Lockdown defense.
Yep, and I think Dresden's going to win that 1A region this year. Heading on to 2A, Hampton. And York Institute comes to Hampton. York Institute, man, they're just strong. They're strong this year, and I don't think they're going to come into Hampton. I think they're going to whoop up on them. So that's how I have advancing there. Smith County and East Robertson. I believe I did pick Smith County at home, playing on Friday. Riverside and Huntington. I have Huntington. In fact, I have Huntington as probably winning this whole region. They're just tough, and their point spreads against teams that are third in the division. Although we've talked about this side of the map on 2A, not super tough. You have Memphis Business and Fairleigh. I think it's going to be Fairleigh and Huntington. I think Huntington is going to face Huntington's going to face York in that state championship. That's December 2nd at 3 p.m. Heading on to 3A. Gatlinburg
Moving
Pittman.
on up.
That's it, baby. And Alcoa. We both know who's going to win this game. We're going to say it on 3. 1, 2, 3. Alcoa.
Yeah, Alcoa.
Yeah, of course. Meigs County and Giles County. I think Giles County is going to be a tough opponent for Meigs as well, and I think they're going to win. So both these visiting teams are going to advance, and I do have Alcoa coming out here to state championship. East Nashville, the big surprise of the year for me. When we were in Nashville, East Nashville was just a name. They weren't that talented. This year, very talented team. I have them advancing over Liberty Creek, Dyersburg, and Covington. I do have Covington advancing over Dyersburg. So the only home team here advancing is going to be East Nashville. But I also think that, I think it's going to be Covington and Alcoa, and I think Alcoa wins this region. That's December 1st at 11 a.m. We're going to head to 4A. I know we're going through this quick.
4A, the class Tullahoma was in last year.
That's right. We're going through this quick, and don't at me. We're going through it quick because we got some good stuff coming up. Greenville and Anderson County playing on Friday at 7 p.m. And then Macon takes on Upperman. I do have Upperman and Greenville meeting in that match, and I have Upperman advancing. Pearl-Cohn plays Marshall County. We all know how tough Pearl-Cohn is.
That's going to be a great football game.
Oh,
These
absolutely.
are two opponents that Tullahoma's knocked heads with in the past, right here, Pearl-Cohn and Marshall County.
You know the difference between these two teams, though? This team always shows out in the playoffs. Always.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the same as NFL. You get some of these teams like the Titans who go to the playoffs and they just lose it.
Yeah.
Well,
And
we'll talk about that in a little bit too.
home.
Yep. So I think Pearl-Cohn's going to advance. And then Haywood and Dyer County, I do have Haywood advancing. Tough team at home. I think they only lost one game all year at home. So I have Pearl-Cohn beating Haywood. So it's going to be Pearl-Cohn and Upperman in that state championship.
Scott had picked the Bees to win the state, so we'll
They
see.
might pull it off.
I think he picked the same as you did, Upperman and Pearl-Cohn.
And I think seeing who plays at home might decide. Well, nobody's going to play at home.
No,
it'll be
that'll be in Chattanooga.
So,
Yep, Finley
yeah,
Stadium.
that's going to be a great game too.
Yep.
All right, moving on to 5A.
5A, Tullahoma's region.
Oh, baby. We got Powell at Knoxville West. Again, we both know who's going to win this game. Say it on 3, 1, 2, 3. Knoxville West. We all know who's going to win that game. Clinton and Walker Valley. I do have Walker Valley advancing. Their last game, Ken, proved a ton to me that they could beat Clinton, especially on the road. So I have Walker Valley and Knoxville West. Knoxville West coming out. Centennial. Let's go back to that. Henry County and Southwind. Southwind has been rolling all season. I think they're going to advance. Page and Centennial. This is, in my mind, one of the best games of this playoffs. These teams won it, and Page defeated Centennial to win that region.
And you know the quarterback for Chevyville that Centennial put out. Centennial came back. Chevyville had a lead at Chevyville against Centennial. Centennial with a good comeback. They hold off the Golden Eagles at the end, so they battle the Patriots of Page.
But once again, one of the toughest places I have seen in high school football to play is at Page. So I got Page advancing with Southwind. I think it's going to be Page and Knoxville West.
Yeah.
Tell me how good of a game that's going to be.
Well, look, this thing about the Page, their execution on offense, they can run it and throw it. But really what struck Scott and I when we were calling the game Friday night was the release, how quick the release of the quarterback was. There was multiple times Tullahoma had their lineman in, even blitzed, right on the quarterback. He flicks his wrist, gets the ball out, completes the pass for big plays. That hurt Tullahoma all night long. So
Which says a lot about
Page
their-
has good balance.
Which says a lot about their coaching staff.
Oh, yeah, well coached.
They knew that had he held onto the ball, they'd lose that game. Because we had guys who were going to blitz him. But I believe it's going to be Page and Knoxville West. It's going to be hard to beat Knoxville West. But I believe Page might have a chance this year.
They're good.
Moving on to 6A, and then we're going to get into some podium picks, my man. Bearden versus Bradley Central this Friday. Riverdale and Oakland. I do have Riverdale advancing and Bradley Central. Oakland has a good team. They're not the team of the past. This team this year has some building they needed to do. I think Riverdale wins that one.
Classic Rutherford County game here. The Riverdale Warriors against the Oakland Patriots. That's, a big crowd will be there Friday night for that 7 p.m. tilt right there.
But whoever moves, the deciding factor in this one is Boo Carter.
Boo.
If he is on,
Yeah.
they're going to win that game. Ravenwood at Brentwood and Houston at Germantown. I do have Brentwood advancing over Ravenwood, although this team has proven a lot this year. They could do it. And I have I have Houston moving on, beating Germantown. Germantown's been good this year.
Yeah.
I don't think they could beat
These are two teams right here out west that have great sports programs. Normally powerhouses in baseball too, Houston and Germantown.
Yep. So I have Brentwood advancing and Bradley Central, and I think Bradley Central is going to end up with this again December 2nd at 7 p.m. And we are going to move on
good.
to pick some podium winners. Are you ready, my man?
I am ready for the
Let's
podium.
do it.
All right. Is it podium time here?
It's podium time.
It's podium time here at Go Ball Sports. It's time to award some superlatives. And you know what? I really like the shirts that Jim Harbaugh and his staff got us, these Michigan Wolverines espionage video departments for our little skit. I hope y'all enjoyed that. But you know what? Man, I can't do this amazing blue no more. Who's this guy? I'm going to go Pat McAfee mode on it.
I might just keep mine on.
Okay.
I might just keep mine
need that. I might need that. Hold on. I got another shirt. I got another shirt on.
Okay.
Hold on.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
My name's Ken.
Podium winner tonight. Got to get my microphone on first, baby, because I'm going to
Look at your camera when you say it.
Number 4. Y'all know who this is. Bronze. It's time to give away a bronze here.
I got
you.
You just keep talking.
Time to give away a bronze. So my podium winner, my bronze winner tonight on Go Ball Sports. I believe this is episode 14 of year 2. Is that correct?
It is.
Look, this guy's on absolute fire. We've got an image of him up here, Dave. If you can put it up.
Oh, I got you.
Jalen Milroe, number 4 of the Alabama Crimson Tide. I want to show y'all folks some stats right here. Let's look at it
right here.
All right, you got me. Okay, look at Jalen Milroe's stats, and our audience can see that, correct?
Yep.
Jalen Milroe's stats versus Michael Penix's stats. Virtually dead even, ladies and gentlemen. Virtually dead even. But the only person that's talked about in the Heisman Trophy these days is Michael Penix and a certain LSU quarterback. Jalen Milroe outplayed the LSU quarterback 2 weeks ago. All he did this week was come through with 6, count them, 6 touchdowns against the Kentucky Wildcats in the 11 a.m. football game, and Alabama routed the Wildcats 49-21. Jalen Milroe is hot, folks. He has had 11 touchdowns the past 2 weeks. My bronze award medalist here on Go Ball Sports tonight.
Beautiful. All right, so I'm going to give away my bronze to a man in Florida. Ken, if you haven't heard this story, it's pretty incredible. Hard Rock actually brought back gambling to Florida, put $500,000 on a 4-leg NFL parlay. Those 4 legs, the Texans to beat the Bengals. The Texans-Bengals to go over 44.5 points. The running back for the Texans, Singletary, to score a touchdown, and Singletary to go over 51.5 yards. Ken, can you tell me how much that payoff was?
I'm not a gambler, but I know some people that are. I'm going to
$500,000 bet.
$500,000 is what he won?
It was $5.5 million that man won.
He put $500,000 on that one game and won $5.5 million. Unbelievable. That's a gold ball.
That's it.
Podium winner.
So you
sure.
can see Scrooge.
Cha-ching.
Yeah. So you can see Scrooge McDuck swimming in some gold. There's my picture. This guy deserves that medal. Your turn.
All right. It's silver time. And look, folks, Jaden Daniels is a great quarterback, and he went off Saturday night. We got another photo here of Jaden Daniels. Look what his numbers were. 372 passing yards, 234 rushing yards. Yes, not the team, Jaden Daniels. Over 600 yards of offense against the Florida Swamp Lizards. They blow Florida out. And what a game Jaden Daniels had. I'm not so sure they did not just give Jaden Daniels the Heisman Trophy, but my goodness, Florida.
He's a whole team by himself.
Toughen up on defense, man. That's terrible. But look, I saw Jaden Daniels strike a Heisman pose in that game, and I'm going to get off on a little rant right here. He's lost his biggest 3 games. I cannot give Jaden Daniels the Heisman Trophy right now. He's not my leading contender. He lost at Ole Miss, okay? He lost the first game of the season against Florida State, and he was outplayed by Jalen Milroe and lost at Alabama and was TKO'd and knocked out of the game. And yes, Les Miles, that was a clean hit. I see you in the post-game interview still crying about it. But, hey, sour grapes, man. You lost. Your team's lost 3 games, but you do have a great quarterback. I'm not so sure I wouldn't take him at number 1 next year instead of Caleb Williams. I'll give you that. Jaden Daniels, silver medalist here at Gold Ball Sports.
That's beauty. That's beauty, man. He was an entire team by himself. And what was the stat? That was the first time in FBS history that those numbers were achieved.
Big time numbers.
But
a lot of teams do that against the Florida Gators.
Yeah, sad to say. Actually, not that sad. Sorry, I'm gonna have to adjust this real quick. Forgive me if you hear a bunch of. Okay, perfect. All right, my silver medal. And if you haven't heard of her, you're going to right now. Goes to an incredible athlete for Iowa, Miss Caitlin Clark. All Caitlin has done this year is be a phenom, averaging 32 points per game, 8.3 rebounds per game, and 9 assists per game. Also, she just became Iowa's all-time leading scorer, and she did it by getting a triple-double. What's he doing?
Keep going.
By getting a triple-double. What in the world is happening here?
Keep going.
Okay, I don't know how much I got left, but she's been rocking and rolling. Ken's left the building here.
No, I might need my Michigan shirt later.
He threw it across.
I may bring back Michigan during the college football season.
He threw it across the room, and then he figured that he needed it. Anyways, Caitlin Clark, well-deserved, becoming Iowa's all-time leading scorer and achieving it with a triple-double. Very well-deserved. Ken, you got her?
I got it.
Going?
I got it.
Okay, baby. Your turn.
All right. Now it's gold medal time. So I'm going to award my gold medal to none other than Cody Schrader. Woo. Running back extraordinary for the Missouri Tigers. They have one of the most impressive wins of the weekend, a 36-7 thrashing, folks, of the Tennessee Volunteers. That game surprised me, the margin of victory. But this guy was phenomenal. He looked like Christian McCaffrey in this game, and he accomplished something that no other running back had ever done in the SEC. 200-plus yards rushing, 100-plus yards receiving. That's number 7 running back Cody Schrader, my Gold Ball Sports gold podium winner tonight.
Very well deserved. What a great game, too, out of him. Man, they couldn't stop him. They couldn't stop him. All right, my gold medal. I'm very excited about this, but I have to eat my own words right now. Goes to the Page Patriots. Before the last playoff game for the Wildcats, there was a message sent out on social media of bring your own seats because our bleachers are going to be dirty. And I unjustifiably labeled this as a school that did not want people to come and cheer for their teams. Now, I was preparing to rip them apart, and I actually have videos that I was recording to play on this episode tearing them apart. However, the opposite was true. Aside from the stands being small, the atmosphere was great. The people who were taking tickets, who were in the concession stands, fantastic. Incredibly kind, but this was the telltale of the whole thing. There's kids who have played their last game of the season, and after this game, the Patriots, led by I believe it was the quarterback, led them in a group prayer. Everybody all together. You can see this in the middle of the field, and you can see the gentleman standing up in the middle of the field, and he thanked God for bringing Tullahoma there to play such a good game and how good of sports they were. He also prayed for the injuries to heal quickly. And man, this showed me so much more than anything else could. Great group of kids. The atmosphere was great. It wasn't annoying at all. Just great. Congratulations to Paige. And honestly, if you're going to beat the Wildcats, I hope you win the whole thing so it justifies our loss. So that does it for our podiums. And now we are going to talk some college.
I am hyped up, folks, about this segment right here, college football segment. Hey, look, we keep receipts on Go Ball Sports, and, you know, our audience keeps receipts on me. So in that podium award winner, I said that Les Miles was griping about that targeting call. Of course, that was Brian Kelly. Les Miles has too much class for that. We know Brian Kelly's a crybaby. I also do want to apologize because last week, I said that the Texas Longhorns beat the Oklahoma Sooners. Of course, they did not beat the Oklahoma Sooners, okay? The Oklahoma Sooners beat them. So just want to correct those two, and it's time to rock now here on Go Ball Sports. I've got to get some of this. We're going to the Dr. Pepper fanfare zone here. Got the sweatband on. It's time to get after it here.
I think the first thing we're going to look at, Ken, is a review of the SEC scores. If you want to take a look.
Let's do it. I'm wearing my Alabama shirt here for these SEC scores. The first one, Alabama.
Here you go, hot shot.
Very impressive. Very impressive. 49-21 over Kentucky. Look, folks, I know Kentucky and Mark Stoops are not that strong, but Alabama did what they needed to do. They crushed the Kentucky Wildcats 7 touchdowns to 3 touchdowns. Milroe accounted for six of those. There was a fumble at the 2-yard line that was not reviewed that Kentucky scored on the next couple plays on. Should only had 14 points. So really, if you look at Alabama's margin of victory against Kentucky versus Georgia won 51-13 in Athens. Alabama 49-21 at Kentucky. So comparable scores there. Vanderbilt, hapless Vanderbilt, they get swamped by the South Carolina Gamecocks. 47-6 is an absolute blowout there for Shane Beamer and the Gamecocks. That was totally expected. Vanderbilt could have put a fight up in Nashville, maybe closer, but not in South Carolina. That's Williams-Brice Stadium's a tough place to play, folks. This right here is the game we talked about. Cody Schrader went nuts. 200-plus rushing yards, 100-plus receiving yards for the Missouri Tigers. Very impressive. They move up in the college football poll to number 9, so they make a jump. To me, the surprise team of the SEC this year definitely is the Missouri Tigers, Dave. They beat Tennessee. Tennessee, their 3rd loss of the season. Big win for Missouri.
This looked like Wildcats lost. This game was over by the middle of the first quarter. Missouri, especially with what Cody Schrader did to them, he just ran all over him. It was a great game to watch, though.
Comparable scores, 37-7, 36-7. But look, this game was 13-7 at halftime. Missouri only had a 6-point lead. Tennessee had a shot, but they just didn't play defense in the second half, folks, or offense, either one. They didn't even show up for the second half. Maybe looking ahead for the Georgia Bulldogs. We'll see this week. Carrying on to me, the second most impressive win after Missouri's was Auburn's. Look at the margin of victory against Arkansas, 48-10. Auburn has been really had not that kind of offensive explosion under Hugh Freeze all season. They have it at a good time. They host Alabama in 2 weeks to Iron Bowl. Alabama better beware. That's always tough to play at Voodoo Hair Stadium, Dave. Is Auburn trying to get primed up for that Iron Bowl with that big win over Arkansas.
Yeah, and that surprised me because when I watched Alabama and Arkansas play, I was there live for it.
Yeah.
That team showed me a lot.
Yeah.
It seems like they didn't even show up for that game.
Yeah, Auburn ran right through them.
Yeah.
Ole Miss, no match for the Georgia Bulldogs. We have a new number 1 in the college football playoff poll, folks. It's the Georgia Bulldogs, 52-17. Brock Bowers is back. Big win, 35-point margin. Very impressive in all 3 complete phases. Yeah. Offense, defense, special teams, they dominated. Jackson Dart under heavy duress and pressure all game. Joe Milton, Tennessee, beware. Here come the Georgia Bulldogs, number 1 now.
Yeah, they're going to be tough.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough.
LSU of Florida, we talked about Jaden Daniels having that monster game, 600-plus yards. A lot of experts are talking about him as now the leader in Heisman Trophy contention, and the clubhouse leader right now, Jaden Daniels. Florida's defense, look, there's not been a whole lot of teams that stopped LSU this year, but, man, to get gashed the way it is, watching that game, talking to texting during the game to one of my big Florida Gator fans, a big fan of the show, Mr. Jared Swain.
Mm-hmm.
The tackling for Florida, absolutely pathetic. A lot of arm tackles. Looked like they were playing two-hand touch in the secondary on defense for Florida, Dave.
Yeah, you wish you would have seen more out of Florida against LSU, but honestly, who's going to stop Jaden Daniels?
Yes.
Who's going to stop him?
Yeah, Florida does have a big match against Florida State coming up in rivalry weekend in a couple of weeks. And then the last game, Mississippi State fires their coach. Their head coach out. Texas A&M, they fire their coach.
Yeah.
So this is the battle of the fired coaches after the game. But the Aggies get to win at College Station 51-10. This is what we expected more of out of Texas A&M. To me, the biggest disappointment in the SEC this year, Texas A&M. Jimbo Fisher out. $76 million buyout. They roll the dice. Jimbo's out at A&M. They got the money down there in College Station, Dave.
What do you say about teams like that? Too little, too late.
Yeah.
Too little, too late.
Hey, Jimbo's doing what Ed Orgeron did. He's just saying, hey, which door do you want to send me out of? Give me my money. I'm out of here.
Remember that clip you played of the streaming guy who was saying, Jimbo Fisher, he's going to get fired by the end of the season. What happened?
There you
Absolutely
go.
did.
Yeah, we told you here.
I think on this next screen, we got the top 10 CFP results right here.
Okay, yeah. So here we go. So how did the top 10 teams fare? Okay, we looked at the SEC snapshot, more of a southern region. We're located in southern Middle Tennessee here. We love our SEC football, but at this point, you've got to look at the national picture here. What did these top 10 teams do last week? Well, a couple of them got beat. We'll start off right here. They were lost to good competition. Penn State in Happy Valley, very disappointed in their offense. They put up 15 points against the Michigan Wolverines. Michigan's defense pretty stout. Not real impressed with their offense, but they pulled it out by 9 points. Penn State was who we thought they were, Dave. They can't beat Ohio State or Michigan.
Yeah.
James Franklin cannot do it.
Well, we know part of the reason why they can't beat that team.
We do. We showed you with the espionage. Yeah, Team Espionage was on the scene. We were stealing the plays from Michigan. They were inside that playbook, baby. Nothing has deterred them. Even with Jim Harbaugh suspended 3 games, they still steal the plays.
I was really hoping for a Penn State victory.
And this one out here, Georgia, we talked about, look, Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin came into this game with high expectations against Georgia, trying to pull the upset against number 2 at the time, Georgia. On the road in Athens, tough place to play between the hedges. No contest. Tap out, no contest. It was close for about a quarter after that. Georgia's depth, too many 5-stars. After the game, Lane Kiffin says, we got what? 1 5-star. They got like 24 5-stars. So too much talent at Georgia. They wipe out A&M. Let's go back to number 1 here and see how they did. Routes here, no contest for the Buckeyes. 38-3. Of course, Michigan State's coach, Melvin Tucker, fired earlier in the season. So they have an interim coach status. 38-3. We talked about Georgia, Michigan. We talked about them. Florida State, the big rivalry win against the Miami Hurricanes. This was the rivalry of the 80s and 90s. Yeah. This right here. Florida State holds on. They get a tough match here. Tough battle from the Miami Hurricanes. Spirited battle by the Hurricanes, but they fall by 7 points. So a narrow win, but a win nonetheless. For Florida State. I'm still impressed with them. I've still got them as my number 1 team, Dave.
That's what I was about to ask you.
Yeah.
This was the big game I wanted to ask you about.
Rivalry games are tough.
Unranked Miami, though.
Yeah.
That doesn't change your opinion at all about who Florida State is?
No, because I factor in rivalry games.
Okay.
Look, there's something about it. When you have rivalry games, you can throw the records out. It doesn't matter if a team's, 2-8 versus 8-2, 10-0. Hey, the other team's going to bring their A game, and you're going to get their best.
And they did look dominant.
Yeah.
They did look dominant in the game.
Yeah.
Miami had some steam there coming on at the end. So I agree with you. That's good.
Yeah, so a couple Pac-12 matchups here. You got Washington by touchdown over Utah. Utah's been tough this year, okay? They've won some big games this year. So they hold on by 7 points for 4, 7 points 5, and 9 points for Oregon against USC. Well, folks, last week, Oregon had just beaten one team with a above 500 record. One team with a winning record and stayed at number 6. We're going to see where they're at in the poll here in just a minute. But they've only beaten one team, and this here, to me, lies the debate. We're going to break that down a little bit more when we see the top 25 reveal, because I'm going to break these 3 teams right here down, and I'm going to show you exactly why the committee has Oregon at number 6 instead at number 8, and it's because of the committee composition. We're fixing to drain the college football swamp here on Go Ball Sports tonight here in just a couple of minutes.
I got a challenge for you. In 5 words, answer this. How does this team right its ship? 5 words.
They've got to recruit some more defense.
Recruit
their
some
defense,
more defense. You gave me 4.
Recruit 5-star defensive players. There you go. Recruit 5-star.
I put them on the spot there.
5-star defensive players. There you go.
Because they had a lot of hype at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
And they're nothing.
Yeah. Well, look, you can score points, but you can't outscore points if your defense can't get any stops, and that's what happens with USC.
That's right.
And, of course, Alabama, convincing win. So if you look at these, convincing, expected, convincing. Michigan, okay? Penn State, come on, man. I don't got them at 10, but the committee does. Rivalry game, good win. Good win. Utah's ranked top 20. Everybody beats USC, but I'm going to chalk up a good win here. I'm going to give them credit here on this one. Texas. How did I skip over Texas? 3-point win at TCU. TCU had a shot to win this game. Man, it seems like since the second game of the year when Texas beat Alabama 34-24, Alabama's ascending. Texas is kind of planning out and just holding on. We talked about that statement game versus survival. Texas has been surviving. Alabama's been making some statements.
But also don't undercut that TCU team. They do look pretty good this year, even though they're not ranked.
Unranked, but still.
Yeah.
We expect Texas to win that game by more. Okay.
Yep.
Let's drain the swamp. Let's look at Pigskin's top 10.
We're going to look at your top 10.
All right, so this is my top 10 before we reveal the college football playoff committee's top 10. I love it, man. Look at this. This is my top 10. Look, Florida State set the tone. I reward out-of-conference games if you win or lose, okay? They beat LSU 41-17 in the first game of the season. To me, that's impressive, okay? And they've not looked back, okay? They've not looked back. They've won some beat some top 25 teams, and they're undefeated. They've just been solid all around. No falters, okay? No chinks in their armor as far as I'm concerned. They're solid, and they got a shot to win it all this year. We'll see if they can finish it off. Georgia, I've got number 2. I swapped Georgia and Ohio State. They flip-flop. To me, Georgia's 52-17 win over a quality opponent that was in the top 10. Yeah. Ole Miss, more convincing than Ohio State's win, in my opinion. Okay, so quality of opponent here. So I swapped these 2 teams. Washington, they get the win. They get a quality win over Utah. Texas, I've got Texas at number 5. Yes, ahead of Oregon and ahead of Michigan. They stayed undefeated, but their biggest win, don't forget, look how this team's playing. Texas goes into Bryant-Denny Stadium, convincingly beats Alabama 34-24, dominated the second half of that game. In a game, Go Ball Sports was there at that game, and we witnessed eye to eye the Texas win over Alabama. So that's why I've got Texas still over Alabama based on head-to-head.
Here's a quick question for you. These 2 teams play right now. Is the story different?
And I think if these 2 teams play right now, Alabama would be the favorite.
I think so,
okay?
Too.
Josh Pate in his Josh Pate poll on a Late Kick Josh, great football program, has got Alabama number 3 in his rankings. Okay, I've got Alabama 6, just beat on one, just on the fact 1, 2, 3, 4 undefeateds. Okay, 4 undefeateds looking good, and Texas won head-to-head, but I've got Alabama here ahead of Oregon and Michigan because of much tougher schedule. Okay, so I want to break down on that schedule right now and make a couple points. I have one of our viewers send this info to me here just a few minutes before the show started. So this is the what I want to talk about: Oregon, Alabama, and Texas. Okay, so all these teams have lost 1 game, correct? Okay. Yep. So let's look at what how their strength of schedule matches up. Okay. Oregon, strength of schedule 54. That's why I've got them at number 7. Alabama, strength of schedule right now, number 1. Number 1 on strength and schedule. Okay, number 1. Number 54, Texas, number 8. Okay, 54. Respectable. Yes, 54, 1, and 8. Okay, and the average schedule strength of these other 5 teams. This team, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The average strength of schedule for Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan, Florida State, and Washington is 52. So this team right here has played the most difficult schedule. This team, the second most difficult schedule. That's why they got 1 loss. Because Texas did lose to Oklahoma, which was top 10 at the time. Alabama loses to Texas. Quality losses for both. They're definitely in the college football playoff picture. 2 new entrants. We had Penn State lose. We had Ole Miss lose. These 2 teams are in my top 10, 9 and 10. Louisville and Missouri. Now,
You don't swap those 2?
No. Okay. I'm going to leave Louisville here and Missouri here because this team has 1 loss and this team has 2 losses. Okay? But if Missouri had Michigan's schedule, the 2 teams that Missouri has lost to was LSU at home by 3 points, Jaden Daniels, 39-36, and the Georgia Bulldogs, 30-21. These are the 2 losses. That's why strength of schedule matters, okay? But they've lost 2, so I've got Louisville at 1. I could flip them up here. Michigan still, even though they beat Penn State, Dave, I don't know how good that victory is.
I don't know if there's such a thing as a good loss, but those 2 losses, they're pretty good.
Yeah.
No,
All right, let's drain the swamp.
Let's do it.
Oh, yes, baby. Do y'all know who this is? This is my good little friend right here. This dude used to scare the crap out of me when I was a kid. Yep. This is the creature from the Black Lagoon. Okay, look at these claws on this guy, okay?
Terrifying.
If I dress up as a monster for Halloween, I want to be the creature from the Black Lagoon, man. Look at this nose. He's in this swamp. Look at these murky, muddy waters, okay? We're going to drain. We've talked about draining the swamp in Washington. We're going to drain. I'm going to drain the college football swamp tonight, okay? So I just want you to leave this graphic on here.
Scoot the middle, King.
All right.
Go off.
I'm going to drain this swamp, but you know what? I'm going to show you why the College Football Playoff Committee has got Oregon ahead of Alabama and Texas. And I'm going to show you, ladies and gentlemen, why the Alabama Crimson Tide and their fans need to be worried, okay?
Keep talking. Hold on.
Let's put this Michigan espionage shirt back on because we're talking about draining the swamp here.
Dave, the microphone.
On Go Ball Sports. Okay, so let's get this microphone back up here.
You got it.
All right, we got the creature from the Black Lagoon. So what do I mean about draining the swamp? Well, Charlie Baker is the College Football Playoff Commissioner. He's a former governor from Massachusetts. And I said back when that happened, I sure hope that politics don't come into college football. But folks, I have studied this College Football Playoff Committee. And you, as our viewers and loving fan, loyal listeners, loyal college football fans of your favorite team, you deserve to know the truth. So the truth will set you free. And we're going to do that tonight on Go Ball Sports because I've studied the bios and the backgrounds of the 13 committee members. I've got snapshots on every one of them. And I'm going to give you some conclusions after I go through these, but I'm telling you, this committee is strongly composed of a Pac-12 and Big Ten presence. Very strong.
I'm going to stop you real quick. I'm just going to let you know this show's going to go longer than 7 because it already has, and I don't care.
Okay.
I'm glad you're watching.
All right. Okay, so a strong Pac-12 and Big Ten presence. There is one so-called Southerner, but I believe it's in name only because he's actually a Northerner. He's not a true Southern gentleman as far as I'm concerned. We're going to look at Mitch Barnhart, who is the athletic director at Kentucky, but he has some serious Northern ties, okay? So without further ado, I'm going to break these 13 committee members down to you and project what their tendency is going to be under some certain scenarios, okay? And then I've got a big, big surprise tonight for exclusive for Gold Ball Sports viewers, because there's a secret committee member nobody knows nothing about. We're going to reveal who that secret committee member is, the silent member that really joins these 13, okay? So let's do it. Let's pick let's look at this committee here.
Go get it, baby.
The first one is Chris Ault. Chris Ault, A-U-L-T. Was the head coach at Nevada for 23 years. He created the pistol offense. Shotgun, quarterback's about 7 yards deep, pistol a little bit closer. So former head football coach at Nevada. Where's Nevada? It's in the far west, okay? West Coast guy, West Coast ties, which means what? Pac-12 lean, which means that gives an advantage if it comes down to 3 teams that went out, Oregon, Texas, and Alabama. This guy could go Oregon, okay? Strong West Coast ties. Mitch Barnhart, just mentioned to him, athletic director from the Kentucky Wildcats, the lone SEC representation, the lone Southerner out of 13 members, folks, including our secret witness, which will be 14. I'll reveal who that is shortly. So he's the athletic director of Kentucky. So he's an SEC homer, right? Not so fast, my friend, as Lee Corso would say. He's the former athletic director at Oregon State. Dave, tell me where Oregon State conference they're in. Pac-12.
Pac-12.
Pac-12. He was the AD there for 5 years. He worked previously in administration at Oregon. He worked in administration with the Oregon Ducks. Wow. But he's the SEC guy. He's the SEC representation. Athletic director of Kentucky, really? Wow. Rhino. In name only. In name only. He was also previously worked in administration at San Diego State. So he's more of a West Coast guy too. Oregon, San Diego State, Oregon State. Okay? Projection, what I feel about him, when push comes to shove, he's got direct Oregon ties, Pac-12 tendencies. He may forsake the SEC. He may not vote for Alabama in that scenario. Even if they went out and beat Georgia, if these other teams in front of Alabama went out, he may say, tough luck, Alabama. These are 4 conference champions, unbeaten. You're a conference champion, but you've lost 1 game. I was at Oregon before. They're getting in over you. Sorry. Okay? Not a true Southerner by any stretch, in my opinion. And the committee member lead, Boo Corrigan. Boo Corrigan. We introduced you to Mr. Corrigan last week. Bachelor's from Notre Dame. Current athletic director at NC State. May bode well for Florida State. That's the ACC. Former athletic director at Army and associate athletic director at Duke. Again, ACC ties there. Associates, he was an associate AD of marketing at Notre Dame Navy and Florida State. Well, that may help Florida State. Prediction, ACC lean for Boo Corrigan with a little plus out there for Florida State. He worked there previously, okay? So Florida State, as long as they win out, they're going to be good. Chet Gladchuk. Non-Southern ties, folks. Masters from UMass, University of Massachusetts Amherst. Charlie Baker, the NCAA president, former governor of Massachusetts, okay? Now the lead of the NCAA. This guy played linebacker at Virginia, bachelor's degree, Boston College, no Southern ties. Jim Grobe, former head coach at Wake Forest, also at Baylor in the Big 12 and Ohio University. ACC and Northern ties. Ohio University for Jim Grobe. Mark Harlan, left coast guy. Left coast all the way. Current athletic director with Utah. Who just beat Utah? Washington just had a big win against Utah. Oregon beat Utah already, okay? So he's the current athletic director of Utah, Pac-12 team. Look, I'm only through 6 of these. Where's the Southern representation at? Why all these guys from the Pac-12? Why all these guys from the north. Okay? I don't understand it. This guy, Mark Harlan, had administrative stints at UCLA and Arizona, both Pac-12 teams. Okay? He's the current AD at Utah. Projection, strong Pac-12 leans. Strong Pac-12 leans. This helps the Ducks and the Huskies. Committee member number 7, Wade Manuel. Wade Manuel, the athletic director of the Michigan Wolverines. Come on, man, really? We got this cheating scandal here, this espionage, and they're going to take, let me get my, hold on.
Here, slap on.
Give me, let me get my ruler out.
Let me slap your wrist.
Give me a ruler, yeah, here. Slap my, here, slap my wrist, man. There's your punishment, 3 games. Look, the committee's not going to penalize Michigan for these transgressions. It's frivolous, okay? I'm going to tell you what I'm seeing right here, and a lot of fans are not going to like it. Based on the shenanigans with Michigan, I'm going to make a case right here tonight. Don't be surprised if it don't happen. The Ohio State-Michigan loser getting into the 4-team college football playoff. Folks, I'm telling you, with these Ohio State and Michigan ties, I'm halfway through this committee and I got more ammo here. The loser of that game's not out. And it would not surprise me if they put a 1-loss Michigan, if they lose to Ohio State, now you do have them at home, or a 1-loss Ohio State that's not a conference champion in front of a 1-loss Alabama or a 1-loss Texas. Beware. I'm just saying. I'm telling you why. Because the composition of this committee is far left and northern. It favors the Pac-12 and the Big Ten. Let me continue. Okay, so Wade Manuel, master's degree from Michigan, former athletic director at UConn, now current athletic director at the Michigan Surveillance Wolverines. Number 8, committee member David Saylor, current athletic director at Miami. The Hurricanes? No, Miami, Ohio. Up north, another Ohio lead here. He did not play football. He did not coach football. Got his bachelor's from where? Ohio Wesleyan. Projection, Ohio ties. Will Shields. Will Shields, the only Hall of Famer in this group. Great lineman, won the Outland Trophy in the early 90s. 2015 NFL Hall of Fame member Will Shields starred at, here's the trump card, the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Dave, do you know what conference? We're talking about draining the college football playoff committee swamp. Do you know what conference the Nebraska Cornhuskers play in? The Big 12. They are in the Big 12. No, the Big 10. I'm sorry. They're in the Big 10. My bad. They were in the Big 12.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, they're in the Big 10 with Michigan and Ohio State. So which way is Mr. Shields going to lean when things get tough and tight? Of course, for the Big 10. Committee member number 10, Gene Taylor, Kansas State athletic director. You guys remember when Kansas State beat TCU last year in the conference championship, and TCU still got to go to play Georgia in the college football playoffs and got curb stomped? What was it, 61, 65-7, whatever it was, okay? Big 12 ties, Kansas State athletic director. He was also a deputy athletic director from 2014 to 17 at Iowa. Big 10 ties. Where's my SEC ties, guys? Charlie Baker. Where's my SEC ties out of any of these 13 guys? Not even Barnhart. He's an implant from Ohio. Projection for Gene Taylor. Okay, projection for Will Shield, for Gene Taylor. 0 SEC ties. Big 12, Pac-12, Big 10. So he can go through one of 3 ways. Kansas State, Pac-12 with Iowa, and he's got his bachelor's from Arizona State. Man, he's got the full gauntlet. Listen to this. Gene Taylor, athletic director at Kansas State, a Big 12 school. Bachelor's degree from Arizona State, Pac-12. Deputy AD, previously at Iowa Hawkeyes, Big 10. He's got Big 12, Pac-12, Big 10 ties, 0 SEC ties. Joe Taylor. We got 2 Taylors on here. We can't leave Joe out. He's not anonymous. Joe Taylor, former head coach at Florida A&M, Howard University, Hampton University, and Virginia Union. This man, to his credit, has won 4 black college national championships. Don't know how he's going to lean, okay? Can only tell you where he coached, okay? Not really administrative stuff other than coaching, Florida A&M, Hampton, Virginia, and Howard, okay? Rod West, committee member number 12, played at Notre Dame. 1988 national championship team. Notre Dame has 2 or 3 reps on here. And the last but not least, Kelly Whiteside. Kelly Whiteside was a 14-year sports writer, lead writer for college football for USA Today, okay? She has a bachelor's degree from Rutgers. And if you remember, just a couple of weeks ago, the committee in Boo Corrigan came out talking about Ohio State and how strong they were when they're at number 1 and lauded the impressive win that Ohio State had against Rutgers. And I was scratching my head and saying, what? Where did that come from? Well, folks, now we know. We're draining the swamp. Miss Whiteside has her degree from Rutgers. Okay? So there you go. So I'm going to draw some conclusions now. And then we're going to reveal who the secret member of this committee is. Okay? Because this is a blockbuster. Okay? We're going to call on our friends, Scooby-Doo, and help them to unmask this mystery. I'm not ready for it yet, but I got 5 conclusions I'm going to read you after studying this committee. What does this mean, this draining the swamp? It means that 1 lost teams Texas and 1 lost team Alabama might be in trouble because this committee is strongly leaning Pac-12 and Big Ten with some ACC ties. Hardly any SEC at all. So here's my key points out of this study of draining the swamp. Number 1, if Alabama wins out, they might not get put in to the college football playoff unless a major chaos ensues the next 3 weeks. And even if they do beat Georgia, even if they do finish 12-1, hold your breath, Bama fans, because the secret witness is going to be at work, and I'm fixing to reveal him. Scooby-Doo's going to reveal him for us here in just a minute through this video. Secondly, this committee has strong Pac-12, as I've said, and Big Ten ties and direct ties to Michigan with their AD on there, Oregon, and Washington. Those are 3 teams right now that's in the top 5. The top 6, strong ties to Michigan, Oregon, and Washington, and some strong ties to the state of Ohio too. 4 or 5 committee members with Ohio ties. Thirdly, the only Southern representation on this committee is Mitch Barnhart, and he has direct Oregon ties, working previously with the Oregon administration. So wouldn't it be ironic if the vote came down to the final vote and an SEC athletic director at Kentucky had to pick between 2 one-loss teams that won their conference championships at 12-1, Oregon beating Washington in a rematch, Alabama beating the number 1 ranked team, Georgia Bulldogs, in the SEC championship game. Where would Barnhart, how would he vote? Would he vote his old school that he used to work at, Oregon? Or would he go SEC? Stay tuned. Fourthly, Michigan, the Michigan-Ohio State loser will get strong. Repeat, will get strong consideration for Final Four with this committee because of committee composition. The makeup, the geographical composition of the makeup with their historic ties. They have strong Michigan-Ohio State ties. Lastly, if Oregon beats Washington and wins out, they will get in before Texas and Alabama, even if Alabama beats number 1 Georgia in the SEC championship game, and even if Texas exacts revenge on Oklahoma in the Big Ten championship, because of the composition that the NCAA has selected of this committee, which I've geographically outlined to you in the ties they have to these past schools. Sad but true, Bama fans. The committee is rigged, and they have a secret member. we're now going to reveal to you who that secret member is, because this man has more pull with the committee than anybody else in America. Dave, let's make the big reveal. Who is the secret member of the 2023-24 College Football Playoff Committee?
Hey, look, Bells. A man in a mask.
I love it. There he is, folks. Kirk Herbstreit, the secret member of the 2023-24 College Football Playoff Committee. We told you we was going to drain the swamp here tonight on Gold Ball Sports. We have drained the College Football Committee swamp. You know what they're up to now. Watch for it to happen. It's going to unfold just like I told you it was here on Pigskins. Pigskins College Football segment.
It's crazy.
All right.
Let's take a look at the
real quick.
the new CFP poll.
All right, CFP poll, here it is. Okay, here's the CFP poll. According to our infamous College Football Playoff Committee members, Georgia, the new number one. I love the way you got this. Number one, these four teams, if the playoffs started today, would be the four teams. Georgia would play Florida State, and then we would have a rematch here. Don't think this is going to happen because they play in 2 weeks in Ann Arbor. So Georgia flipped above Ohio State. And then we got 5, 6, 7, 8. Right here is where I think it cuts off, folks. Missouri has lost 2 games. Telestrator, here it is.
Get yourself.
Missouri has lost 2 games. They're not getting in. Louisville, 1-loss Louisville is not going to supersede these 3 1-loss teams. Oregon State, no way. Right here it is. Out of these 8 teams, 4 of these will compose the college football playoff. So there it is, folks. There it is. What they got left on the bone, okay? We're going to see Georgia. Georgia plays, we'll have the SEC championship against Alabama. Alabama has Auburn next week. They got Chattanooga this week. They'll play Georgia, already set in the SEC championship game. These 2 teams play next week. Florida State has a big matchup against the Florida Gators. Florida Gators, they got a chance to get that defense right, but Florida's sitting good here with no losses. Unbeaten, 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 unbeaten. So here we are, Washington, outside looking in right now, but looking good because one of these 2 is going to lose. They'll jump up into one of those spots. So the loser of this game would be out. This team's in. Now, Oregon, if they beat Washington, their play is, hey, we got revenge against the only team we beat us. Same thing with the Texas Longhorns. If Texas beats Oklahoma in the Big 12 championship, they can say, hey, we won our conference, we avenged our only loss, and we beat the team that's playing maybe better than anybody right now, Alabama. Alabama, they can say, hey, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. We have the number 1 strength of schedule. They have the number 54 strength of schedule. We may not trump them right now, but we're playing better than them right now. If we played them down on a neutral field, we would be favored and we would beat them right now because we're going up and they're just holding on. We're making statements. They're surviving, folks. So here we go. This is your top 25. Tennessee at number 18. They have a monster matchup against the Georgia Bulldogs this week at home, folks. This is going to pick this at the end on our Golden Games. They're number 1. They beat number 1 last year. Beware, Georgia Bulldogs. I know Tennessee looked terrible. That team was for terrible last week. But watch out. Was their coach, Josh Heupel, and their team looking ahead to this game? It sure looked like it. So that's a look at the top 25. Rounding out, Penn State dropped to 12. Ole Miss dropped to 13. Oklahoma sitting at 14. LSU up to 15. Iowa Hawkeyes, Arizona, Tennessee. Notre Dame, tough, good football team right here. I'd hate to play them in a bowl. North Carolina, Kansas State, Utah, Oregon State, Tulane, and the Kansas Jayhawks. So we got Kansas and Kansas State in here. But here's your big 4 right now with your big 4 right behind them. Dave, that's your college football playoff rankings for yesterday. Came out last night during the Duke Blue Devil Michigan State halftime at the end of that game yesterday on November 14th.
Let's take a look at some SEC slate.
Let's do it.
Quick.
All right, SEC slate, we're going to blow through these. These are your TV games. Folks, Chattanooga at Alabama, no matchup. Louisiana Monroe, these getting these non-conference games, blowout by Ole Miss, gets to the win column. Yeah. Mississippi State, Southern Miss, interesting game. Mississippi State just fired their coach. Mississippi State's at home, but I don't know what kind of mood they're going to be in. Southern Miss could pull an upset here. Yeah. Abilene Christian at Texas A&M, no trouble for A&M. Tennessee at Georgia, can't wait for this one. A great historic rivalry right here. We're going to pick this to the end of the show. Auburn going to be on going to win this one against New Mexico State. Missouri, Florida. I like Missouri, just playing great right now. Their defense is better than Florida's. Florida International against Arkansas. Razorbacks going to win this one. Kentucky at South Carolina. I like South Carolina to win this game. Georgia State at LSU. LSU wins the game, wins again. This one out here, folks, at 2:30 CBS is going to be a great ball game.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
All right, that winds up the college football segment.
Hey, Ken, get yourself a drink of Dr. Pepper.
I need it, man.
While we give out some participation trophies. What do you think about that?
Gold Ball Sports, where participation trophies simply don't cut it.
All right, y'all. So we're going to start this off. I'm going to start it off just like this. I'm going to hand out a trophy to a basketball team that deserves it. We've heard money can't buy me love. Apparently, it can't buy you championships either. My trophy goes to the Los Angeles Clippers, who acquired James Harden this season from the 76ers. The 76ers are now 8-2 and are on pace for an incredible season, while the Clippers are on a 6-game losing streak with a record of 3-7 with a star-studded cast. Harden is averaging 15 points per game and has been of little help in comparison to how much he was offered to change his jerseys. Clippers, here's your participation trophy. It's probably going to be the only one you get this year. Amen.
I like it. All right. Well, just a couple weeks ago, I gave this guy a podium award for winning his 300th game. I don't understand the bonehead move he made in the football game the other day for the New England Patriots. Okay? I believe they was playing, was it the Colts? Mm-hmm. New England Patriots. So, Mac Jones was 15 for 19. He had an outstanding comeback, led his team to a comeback win a couple weeks ago against the Buffalo Bills in a shocker. I believe that game was 3 weeks ago. Bill Belichick, after Mac Jones threw an interception, pulled him out of the game. Well, that's really going to build confidence for your quarterback, Coach Belichick. Now, look, I know you've won 300 games. And there was a big debate that went on for a very long time. What contributes to the New England Patriots' success? Is more of the credit to go to Coach Belichick because he's a genius, or is more of the credit to go to the GOAT, the greatest quarterback of all time, Tom Brady? I'm really starting to believe, after watching some of the blunders the past few years since Tom Brady left, that it was Tom Brady. The majority of the credit should have went to him and not to Coach Belichick, because that's a boneheaded move to destroy the confidence of a rising quarterback, especially when he brought you back, went down the field 3 weeks ago against a great Buffalo Bill team and Josh Allen, and won that game at the end for you. So you pull him out, and okay, you pulled him out, but your decision backfired on you, Coach Belichick. You put Bailey Zapp in, and then this happened.
2 snap. It's a handoff, and it is close. We'll see if they're going to stop for a measurement. Oh, they're just calling it a first down. Wow. As the clock, though, is rolling. Ball's placed on the 40. Less than 40 seconds to go. Zappe with a fake snap. Fake spike. Pardon me. It's intercepted. Oh, boy. Rodney Thomas. A Bailey Zappe fake spike leads to a game-sealing interception. Words that I didn't wake up this morning here in Germany think that I'd be saying.
I'm in disbelief of just the sequence right there. They go to the run and play, okay, you pick up the first down. You think they're going to spike the ball, get their wits about it, and figure out what's next. They go with the fake spike. Juju Smith-Schuster's one-on-one on the outside, so maybe you give him a chance. Instead, Bailey Zappi here throws it over the middle into a team meeting of Indianapolis Colts, and they make him pay. I don't know if he's looking for a penalty or anything, but that play just looked like they were just organizing. Bill's look right there sums up their season so far this year.
Oh,
Coach
man.
Belichick, you just got Bailey zapped. Poetic justice for Mac Jones. What a blunder, a coaching blunder.
Fantastic.
You know, not only pulling your starting quarterback out, who you know had the ability to lead you to that comeback win, you put Bailey Zapp in and then call that silly play. That's ridiculous, man. Participation trophy, Bill Belichick. You're gonna give him a clown shot on that.
Because he's a clown.
He was on that sequence for
That was
sure.
ridiculous. All right, y'all. So let's move on and let's talk about some NFL since we just got there. We're going to take a look at some division work.
Oh, here we go.
You excited? I'm
Break
excited.
it down, baby. Let's do it.
Let's go. First, we're going to talk about the NFC East, and we're going to go from the bottom to the top. Here's the way I want us to do it. Let's figure out what this is going to look like and what it has looked like. All right? The Giants and Commanders. Not really a big hope of these two doing anything this year. This is what I'm more interested in.
Yeah, you know, Commanders have given up 44 sacks. Okay, they just trade Chase Young, I think, to the Bears or somebody. I think it was the Bears. But the Commanders, 44 sacks allowed. It's about these two teams here. Both these are going to get in the playoffs. But Jalen Hurts and the Eagles, they own a head-to-head win over the Cowboys. They're sitting in the driver's seat. They're going to win the NFC East. Are the Eagles. They're a more complete team than the Cowboys. I trust the Eagles offense more than I do the Cowboys. I give a quarterback advantage to Jalen Hurts over Dak Prescott. I'm a Cowboy. That's my team. But the Eagles are strong contenders to go to the Super Bowl this year.
But these two are star-studded.
They are.
And the one thing that we've seen this year is victories are hard to come by.
This could be the NFC Championship game. We'll see. Yeah.
Could be. And watch a CeeDee Lamb play last game.
Yeah.
It's a tough team. I still think the Eagles are going to win this NFC East for sure. All right, moving on to the NFC West. We got the Cardinals. Hey, what happened to the Rams? What happened to Puka Nacua and Matthew Stafford? What a dynamic duo, and they haven't done much of anything. Man, it's been such a disappointment this year. Cardinals, of course, now that you got rid of Mr. Dobbs, you ain't going nowhere. You're going to stay last. These two teams, however, this is great. It seems like the top two teams in each region outside of the NFC South, which might be the worst region in all football.
I think teams are a little trying to, starting to figure out Brock Purdy a little bit.
Yeah.
The short control passing game, they got George Kittle, they got Run CMC, McCaffrey, Debo Samuel. They're loaded, but they lost 300. They had a 3-game losing streak. Still strong defense. No, Chase Daniel, I think, went to them. He went to the 49ers. I saw him jumping up and down coming out of the tunnel. So, look, with Chase, I'm calling him Chase Daniel. It's Chase Young, right?
Chase Young.
Yeah, the defensive end, Chase Daniel used to be a quarterback for the Missouri Tigers. Why did I get that? Chase Young makes the 49ers, to me, they're going to win this division, and they could go to the Super Bowl.
They were already star-studded.
Oh, yeah, they were already stacked on defense, yeah.
Geno, he's been doing well. Actually, this team has been a disappointment as well, not as much as the Rams.
Yeah,
so.
I misspoke. Chase Young did not go to the Bears. They picked somebody else up. I can't remember because I saw him play the other night against the Carolina Panthers. But they got Chase Young, and their defense is already good. So watch out for the Niners.
Yeah.
Yep.
Gonna be good. NFC. Let's go to the North. I believe is what's next. Yeah. Bears and Packers. They actually had a pretty good stint there. Justin Fields was actually doing pretty well this season, mid-season. It seems like these two just kind of fell off here recently. Vikings. This is going to be interesting because I still believe the Lions are a legit Super Bowl contender. Amon-Ra St. Brown has been fantastic. Jared Goff is quietly one of the front runners, in my opinion, of MVP this year. Dude is putting up MVP numbers, and if you need to watch out for him, along with Aiden Hutchinson. Their defense is great. Their offense is great.
And they got a new little weapon out of the backfield, Jahmyr Gibbs.
That's right.
Yeah, don't sell him short.
Right.
That rookie's showing out. And, look, this is the old black and blue division right here, okay?
Yeah.
The NFC North, black and blue division right here. the Lions, the class. But look, Josh Dobbs has shot some energy into the Minnesota Vikings.
Right? That's what I was about to say.
Yeah.
That team has new life.
Yeah.
And watch out for that because Kirk Cousins wasn't doing a bad job.
Yeah.
But him being out, Josh could turn that around. So I think this is going to be interesting coming down to it. I really feel like the Lions, though, are going to win that NFC North. NFC South.
Who dat say they're going to beat them Saints? And Alontae Taylor right here. Who dat?
Ken, I'm sorry. This is a bad division.
It might be, but the Saints are in first. Somebody's got to win it. Might as well be the Saints. Right?
Honestly, Saints are doing well.
Yeah.
Recently, they've had a bad stint.
Yeah.
I believe the Buccaneers could give them a run.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah.
They've been playing some good football. This is a disappointing
Yeah,
team.
this team, there's not going to be a wild card out of this division.
Yeah.
You're going to get your one team in, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, one team in, everybody
That's a
else.
disappointing team.
Yeah, I agree.
With Bijan Robinson.
Poorly coached. Poorly coached.
Yep, very poorly coached.
Yep.
And the Panthers, poor Panthers.
Poor Bryce Young.
Yeah.
No down the field speed at wide receiver. They got an old position receiver, Adam Thielen. Their offensive line is terrible, and their defense is not much better. So there's no weapons, no run game. This is a bad team with a good young quarterback.
That's who I'd get in the draft first. It's a wide receiver.
Yeah.
Because Bryce Young with the wide receiver.
Hey, how about Marvin Harrison Jr. right here to the Panthers? There you go, Panthers. I just called it for you.
Because their defense isn't bad. Their offense
Yeah.
just is not
They may
good.
get that #1 pick again next year.
Looks like it.
Yeah.
All right, heading to the AFC. We're going to go AFC East. This division's interesting to me because for a while, each one of these teams was premier. We had the Patriots going on, playing probably in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Ain't looking that way right now.
Look, I'm telling you what Belichick's doing right now. He's tanking to draft Drake May. He's not going to get Caleb Williams. He's going to get another quarterback. He's done with Bailey Zapp. He's done with Mac Jones. He showed that the other day on Sunday against the Colts. He's going to go Drake May of North Carolina. They're going to pick a quarterback. You watch.
Or knowing him, he might just pick up Caleb Williams and stay where he is. All right, look.
God don't like that pick at #1.
No, nobody would. But if Belichick's in the lead, he might. Bills and Dolphins, man, I'm waiting to see if the Dolphins can beat a good team.
Yeah.
They've shown very good. I mean, scored 70 points on a team. That's great. You can't beat a team that's 6-0 or 5-1. That's bad.
Well, look, the Dolphins have lost to the Chiefs and to the Bills.
Yeah.
Those are the two teams that they're going to have to get through to go to the Super Bowl, okay? So they got to find a way to knock off the Giants.
And I want to tell you this. I think it was.
And that's not the New York Giants, the Giants of the AFC.
Right. I want to tell you that the Bills just fired offensive coordinator Ken Dorsey.
Yeah, they just blew a game against the Denver Broncos.
Yeah.
I mean, how on God's green earth, while we're talking about the Dolphins and Bills, do the Dolphins put 70 up against the Denver Broncos, and the Denver Broncos turn around and beat the Bills and the Chiefs both? I can't make sense of it.
They didn't send the script to you?
Good one. I like it, man.
That's sad. Man, Josh Allen needs a better team. Not saying the Bills aren't good, but man, they haven't just proven a lot.
They should have traded for Derrick Henry and got him a stud running back.
That's it.
That would have put him over the top.
Should have been that.
Look, you can't be scared to make a move, man. They didn't do it.
Did I get this wrong? 6-4 is what that should be, not 6-5.
Okay.
Yes, because they wouldn't have played 11 games because this week is 11th week. So that should be 6-4. My bad. Caught my own mistake. I still like the Dolphins winning that division, by the way. AFC West. We look at the Broncos and Chargers. I love this division. Just because this team is being a surprise to everybody when they shouldn't be. This team,
disappointment.
Very disappointing.
Disappointment, 4-5. You know, Justin Herbert. I expected more out of the Chargers,
especially after what you paid for Herbs at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
He should be maybe Herbs and Herbs have a thing going. I don't understand that, Ken. I don't. They're not playing like a championship team.
They're going to win. They're cruising right now. They're going to win. They're going to win the AFC West.
Because the script says.
Yeah, they're still the favorites in the AFC.
I agree. It's going to be the Eagles and the Chiefs.
They're still the favorites.
Because the colors of the Super Bowl logo are those colors. Look it up if you think I'm lying. The past 4 Super Bowls, the colors of the logo have determined who plays that Super Bowl.
Oh, wow.
Look it up.
And the colors are green and red?
Green and red. Look it up.
So you're saying it's already the rigs in.
Mm-hmm.
that the Super Bowl's already determined. It's going to be the Chiefs and the Eagles in a rematch.
Yeah, I wish I had the picture going around social media, but there is a picture of the game in Frankfurt that was played, I believe, in did the Chiefs play in Frankfurt? Yeah, versus the Dolphins.
Yes.
And this was a test of the broadcast system, and it showed the score at halftime was 14-14. Go look up the score of that game again, and you'll see. Anyways, getting off of that, I actually like the Raiders to come in on a wild card. I think they're going to do well. I think Devontae Adams playing great.
Somebody's got to make a wild card.
That's right. And I hope they give the Chiefs a run for their money.
Do it for Al Davis, guys.
That's right.
Cliff Branch, Ken Stabler. Do it for the guys.
All right, AFC North. Let's head there. Bengals, Browns, Steelers. This is the strongest division, in my opinion. Man, we're going to call this game. They're going to call this game later. Bengals versus Ravens.
I'm shocked that the Bengals are in last place.
Me too.
Shocked.
Me too. And
but they're coming on. They're coming on.
I think they're going to win some more. Browns, of course, lose Deshaun Watson. They're going to start DTR, Dorian Thompson, Robinson for the rest of the season, which is sad because the Browns were actually a really good team this year. I'm sad to see that happen. Steelers, I don't know how they keep winning. I guess pick.
Man, these graphics are fantastic. They do a great job.
Pickens to Pickett, I guess that's it.
Yeah.
That's how they keep winning.
Look, Mike Tomlin, he's going to go what 500. He's going to go 9-8.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what the Steelers always. That's what they're going to do.
Do you think Lamar has enough to finish the season strong?
Yes.
Yeah.
They're going to win the division right here.
I do. They might actually be in an AFC championship match.
Possibly.
I think so. All right, looking at the worst of the worst.
Oh man.
Guys,
Look at this.
Keith, what do you think?
I think it's time to blow the horn for him. Oh, he's got Keith Bullock now in studio, folks,
Keith
live.
Bullock. Keith's going to weigh in on.
Come on, Keith, tell us what's going on here.
He's going to weigh in on this Titans team. He said, very disappointing as far as the quarterback play goes. He thinks Will Levis did an okay job, but these receivers got to get on the same page. It's kind of hard to do that. Say it one more time. It's kind of hard to do that when you only have about 3 practices in between games because the NFL's got you playing in other countries. Oh, that's a good call. Yeah.
Hey, no, Keith, no offensive line, man. You got to learn to block.
Right.
Block somebody. Give Levis some time.
Man, this is disappointing, and especially to see the season that Derrick Henry has had this year as opposed to his other seasons. Although, Tajay Spears looks pretty dang good. I actually like that. It wasn't a bad game. And the games that they've lost with Will Levis?
No offense.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, defense is what's been sad for me because we were supposed to have one of the best in the league. Not even a contest. Anyways, Titans in last place. Colts, I think they're going to stay right there. This is how it's going to shake up at the end of the year, I believe. Although I'd love to see C.J. Stroud.
Yeah, this guy, C.J. Stroud,
He's
tearing it
coming
up.
on.
You know, had a what? We featured him on Go Ball Sports. I gave him
He's tearing it up.
a podium last week, 470 yards passing, 4 touchdowns, a rookie record. And he's doing a good job, man. And this team right here got curb stomped by the San Francisco 49ers.
Well, they'll have an easy week this week.
I think it was 37-3 the Jaguars got beat. So they're going to be – they got the Titans this week. They're going to be out for blood. Watch out, Titans.
Yeah. In fact –
while catch the Jaguars in a bad mood.
In fact, while we do that, let's go predict some games. All right, I'll start us off.
Golden games. Let's do it.
Let's change this first. Whoop. All right, the first one I got up is going to be the Bengals at the Ravens. Man, this is a hard one to call. I'm actually going to pick the Ravens at home, but I think it's going to be close just because they're at home, and I think Lamar is playing a little bit better than Joe Burrow right now. The Ravens just have a better clicking system. It seems like they're playing better football than the Bengals are. So I'm going to pick them. This is Thursday night football game at 7:15 on Prime Video. I'm going to pick the Ravens to win 21-17. What do you think, partner?
The Ravens have been the more consistent team, but I think the team with the most upside here is the Bengals. And I like the way Joey B, I think he's starting to get a little bit more healthy. I think this is a key game in the division that the Bengals are going to pull the upset. Joey B's going to have a big game with Jamar Chase and those other wide receivers they got. Bengals over the Ravens and upset by 3 points.
Okay, perfect. All right, so the next game we're going to go to is the Titans at the Jaguars. That's on Sunday at noon. Man, brother, I don't think there's any hope for this Titans team to beat the Jaguars at all. I think the Jaguars are going to put the defense out. I think it's just like you said. They're playing at home. They're going to come for blood, especially after getting beat the way they did. I actually put this score at 13-24. I think you're going to see more field goals out of Nick Foles than you do touchdowns out of Will Levis.
Yeah, I would go ahead and say put Will Levis on concussion protocol. Watch, okay, on watch. It's going to make the Jaguars defense going to make life miserable for Levis. I'm going to predict 3 picks by the Jaguar defense. Jaguars blow them out.
So here's that's
2 touchdowns.
That's a funny thing too. People don't understand what a bad offensive line does to you.
Oh yeah, no
but
line.
Every quarter, we talk about quarterbacks coming to die and wide receivers coming to die at Tennessee. They come to die because just like Mariota, when he started, great quarterback. He got hit so many times that he became gun shy. That is a thing in the NFL. You get scared to throw the ball.
Yeah.
I'm hoping Will Levis's muscle and his size can push him past that. But Tannehill's gotten beat up too.
Yeah.
He's gotten beaten up, as we know. You know?
I hope Levis finishes this game.
Yeah, but I definitely got
the
the Jaguars winning at home for that one. The last game might be one of my favorite of the season, my friend. Eagles at the Chiefs. I'm hoping the Eagles pull this one off. The thing about the Eagles right now is they taste it, Ken. They want it. The Chiefs have been there, and the Chiefs have proven they can beat the Eagles before. I think the Eagles are going to be out for blood on this one as well. It's a Monday Night Football game, 7:15 on ESPN, and I've got the Eagles barely winning by 3, 24-21. What do you think?
Look, Patrick Mahomes is a great quarterback, and that tight end they have is pretty hard to cover.
Yes.
But the Chiefs won the Super Bowl in a really good game until the final 2 minutes. I think the Eagles get revenge here. Now, if they match up again in the Super Bowl, I'm not ready to make a prediction on that, but I think the Eagles are going to come in and win this game. I think they're going to be hungry, and they got to stay. They got more to prove, and I think the Eagles got a little bit better team this year than the Chiefs. We'll see. I got the Eagles in the upset.
Perfect.
Not really an upset, in my opinion.
No.
These are the 2 best teams in the NFL right now.
There. All right, heading into your game. Let's pick a high school game first.
Oh, man, McKenzie at Moore County. We talked about this big matchup in Lynchburg, Tennessee. State 1A playoffs, round 3. Going to be a good one. Who you taking?
I'm going to take Moore County at home. I'm sorry. McKenzie's been playing.
No, don't apologize. I hope the Blue Raiders take it.
McKenzie's been playing good football. However, Moore County is at home, and home field advantage in high school is a lot.
Boy, I was going to pick McKenzie, but I think you talked me into it. Based on what I saw Page, his home crowd become, I think Moore County can provide that same kind of atmosphere, make it a true home field advantage and not just playing at your stadium type deal. Moore County rides the crest of that enthusiasm and emotion, and they get the win against McKenzie.
Let's hope they do. All right, heading into your next game.
All right. College football, Washington at Oregon State. Watch out, Washington. You're on upset alert right here. This could be a big one here. The Beavers against the Huskies. Oh, Oregon State looked so terrible last week. They only scored, I think, a field goal. They got blown out of the stadium. I think it's kind of like Tennessee. I think they was looking ahead.
Who'd they play?
I can't recall right off the top of my head, but they got boat raced.
Yeah.
I'm thinking Oregon State was looking ahead, but it doesn't matter. Michael Penix is out. I think Washington pulls out a close one.
Yeah.
Maybe 1 point win. Washington 24-23, close one.
I'm with you. Oregon State didn't look good at all last week. I think they actually win by a touchdown. I'm gonna say 14-7.
All right, here's our game of the week.
Hey.
Bring it out.
You want to do this?
No, where's my helmet at? Did I put my helmet
Oh, hey,
on?
baby, here you go. I got you.
Tennessee helmet.
I got you, big dog.
There we go. Yeah. Okay, here's the Tennessee Vol helmet. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's the golden game. We got Tennessee hosting the Georgia Bulldogs. Look, folks, my son was in Knoxville last year for the Tennessee-Alabama game. Tennessee broke a 15-game losing streak. They beat number 1 and Bryce Young 52-49. Does Tennessee have it in them to be able to do that? They got a shot. Their shot's not as good as it would have been, I think, if they would have beat Missouri, because now they have, you know, they really needed to win the Missouri game. They weren't able to do it. Now they have 3 losses. So they're out of the SEC East race, but they can capture their season with another win over number 1. Tennessee wins this, the goalposts are coming down. They're going to be floating the Tennessee River again. But Georgia's too strong. They're coming. They played their best football the last 2 weeks. Tennessee does not have Hendon Hooker. They don't have Jalen Hyatt. They do have a great crowd. They do got a home field advantage. I think they will put up a fight for 3 quarters, 2.5 to 3 quarters. Georgia pulls it out in the end. I'm going to say 34-23, Georgia.
It's actually the score almost to the T. I was going to go 34-21.
Oh, wow. Okay.
The thing about it is Tennessee recently has been playing a slew of games where they haven't looked like Tennessee. I don't think they're ready for that jelly. And I'm going to give you 2 words on why Georgia's going to win. Stetson. Oh, wait. Brock Bowers. Almost said Stetson Bennett.
Carson Beck's having a great year quarterback for him. Yeah, he's
Brock
good.
Bowers being back.
Yeah. He played some last week.
Ultimate contender. I bet he's going to play all game this week.
Yeah. Going to be a hard-hitting game. Look, Tennessee's going to show a lot better than they did last week against Missouri.
Yeah.
I think Tennessee was looking ahead. You can't do that in the SEC, but I think their minds. They was there in body in Columbia, Missouri, but their minds were on this game.
But more than the past couple of years, partner, we've seen it. Georgia looks mortal this year.
Yeah, and Tennessee's a different team at home. They're a whole different animal.
Yeah. So I hope
we'll just see if that animal's big and bad enough. Who's the biggest animal? Who's the biggest dog? Is it Smokey or is it Uga? We're gonna find out Saturday at 2:30.
I don't know. I'd rather fight an old pound dog than I would a bulldog any day. All right, we're gonna head to some 2-minute warnings coming up now.
2-minute warning.
All right, y'all. If you haven't heard this story, then let me expound on the incredible story of Garrett Johnson. Garrett was a freshman at George Washington University. 6 months after completing his 9th round of chemotherapy, Johnson led the Revolutionaries to a victory in the first basketball game of the season. Not only did he compete and do well, but he scored 21 points in that contest. Originally enrolled at Princeton, found a mass on his hip, and he was unable to compete for the Tigers. Then he enrolled in George Washington. Now he finally got his chance to play college hoops this year, and I'm going to keep my 2-minute warning short because I'm actually looking forward quite a bit to my partner's 2-minute warning. But I'm going to let this video speak for itself, and if you don't believe this kid was ready to finally play some hoops, then check this out.
Bishop is helped. Autry the alley-oop to Johnson! Hello, goodbye, Thunder Jam, drive safely. 19-point lead.
So again, 9 rounds of chemotherapy.
Oh, wow.
That's why he wears the number 9. 6 months after receiving his last treatment, that's what he does in his first college game at George Washington. What a great story, partner. All right, and this one is going to go to you now, Mr. Ken Keller.
Not my NFL. Roger Goodell, this is not my NFL. I miss fierce rivalry games, Redskins, Cowboys, Steelers, Browns, and Raiders, Chiefs. I miss single bar face masks, tearaway jerseys, straight on field goal kickers, and the Jim Ottos who played for the love of the game. I miss Dandy Don and Frank, Madden and Summerall, and Howard Cosell's Monday Night Football halftime highlights. I miss Ditka's sideline sweaters and temper tantrums and Landry's signature hats. I miss Staubach's 2-minute comebacks, Marino's lightning release, Bradshaw's bombs, and Favre's grit. I miss Lambert's bone-shattering hits, Singletary's Cobra Twitch eyes, and Lawrence Taylor's gravity-defying plays. I miss trench warfare when teams won with pulverizing run games, Riggins and the Hogs, Zonka and the undefeated Dolphins. I miss the ball hawk defensive backs that feasted on opposing wide receivers who dared cross their paths without fear of referee reprisal or fines. Ronnie Lott, Rod Woodson, and Jack Tatum. I miss Sweetness, who was poetry in motion, and Barry Sanders' pinball wizardry. Earl Campbell's locomotive collisions and Bo Jackson's electrifying speed. I miss Rice splitting secondaries and Biletnikoff's stickum. I miss Bruce Smith and Reggie White sacking quarterbacks who were not wearing dresses and protected like porcelain china dolls. I miss Mean Joe Green's Have a Coke and a Smile commercials. Mr. Goodell, the game is but a shell of its former self. Once upon a time, games were called fairly without predetermined outcomes. What have you done to my beloved NFL? Your game is nowhere near the game I once knew, and that, Roger, is a damn shame. Have a Coke and a smile, sir.
That is going to do it for episode 2.14 for Goldball Sports. Tune in to watch the Espionage Video Department play this week. For Ken Keller filling in for the incomparable Scott Chastain, I'm Dave Myers. Kiss your dad square on the lips.
Having fun together makes a party.